Thanks for staying with us. So now we have in the studio with us Mr. Ola Oresanya. He's the Honorable Commissioner for Environment in Ogun State. He'll be discussing with us what the state is doing to combat the severe flooding situation around the border communities of the state, especially Isheri, Opik, Kara, and others. He'll also be unveiling the state's plan in tackling the annual menace and also addressing the ugly situation that has rendered up to 1 million of the citizens homeless. Welcome, sir, to our show. Good to have you, Mr. Oresanya.
Thank you very much. Nice to be here too.
So we've been, in the past few years, been waiting for somebody from Ogun State, Council, because we have so many questions. Aside from the environmental issues, we have issues concerning the roads, but we'll come to that in a moment. I just can touch a few things on that. But first, let's start with this recent flooding that happened, especially in that Kara area.
Okay.
And every single year we have something like this. What is the government doing to combat this this flooding that we see almost every year?
Well, thank you very much. If you look at the Kara flooding, it's a kind of a river flooding that comes almost every year. And the first thing is, in solving any problem, you must first of all be able to have a proper diagnosis of what the problem is before you ascribe any form of solution. And I think that's exactly where we are to really pin it down on something, Before now, everybody explained this issue to look is the dam, and it's like people believe that you just lock down that dam so that people downstream can enjoy themselves. But really, the dam is what has been saving downstream. The dam is there to manage the flow, flood control. Okay. And that dam has just been a kind of, it's more of asset than a liability, if you look at it, yes. Now, the key thing causing the problem there is that, what we have around there, the Ogun River is a very old river, meanders around there, so, and most of the settlement there, they're within the watershed. It's just a little island where you have various rivers that cuts across those areas. You have the Okparo River, you have the Ogun River, and there's a plateau where people settle down there. So it's a floodplain, as it is. All right, and there are rules of engagement when you want to build and settle in a floodplain. Okay. You can live there, but there are rules of engagement. You have to elevate then you work with the tidal fluctuations. Okay. All right, and the tidal is a natural phenomenon that comes. Almost every day you have a fluctuating tidal waves, and this thing comes from the sea and it affects the lagoon, where you have a high tide in the morning and you have the low tide in the evening. But usually around September, October, usually have this excessive tide, excessive high tide. And the last October, the last one we had the low tide setting at about 1.5 meters, and the height was almost at about 3.5 around October 10, October 11, October 15, last month. And that means Ogun River itself cannot flow cannot empty itself into the lagoon. So it has to backflow. Okay. And it will go naturally into this area, which is a natural wetland. Okay, and the people who are settled there, some of them, or most of them, are at a lower level, so they have this flood.
One of the communities affected is the River Valley Estate, and
yes,
so those are communities we visit during the dry season. I'm wondering, what is the water channeling like, drainage channels like in those communities that it's getting worse. Let's use local in every year. What are the drainage channels like? And is there a possibility of properly channeling such that other communities that are dry could benefit from the opening of the dam instead of it becoming destructive as it is now?
Yes, we are closer to the solution now than before, because I think so far now we're able to transfer the area, and along that river itself, almost emptying itself after Isheri before entering to Lagos. You have a kind of a hunch, okay, underneath that river, such a kind of an elevation that's almost damming the river back. So we have to open that on itself to enable the speed of discharge of that river downstream. So we've done that profiling in the last few weeks. Then again, the area itself has to be at an elevated level. There are some of the streets in the community where they now have roads that are constructed at elevated levels. Those areas are not affected. You know, they had this normal flow. And it's not just, Isheri is the most visible to you. We have Makogi, we have Magboro, we have Arekpo, we have Orimerumu, and many of these communities around this area, almost like a flat plain when you go around this area. And you have rivers, several other rivers bordering those areas and trying to empty itself into the lagoon. So all these areas, you have to operate there at a level, at a higher level. Look at the expressway, the way it's constructed. It's almost higher than the settlements.
Yes.
And that tells you the profiling done by the engineers who made that road know that, look, you have to raise this road up, otherwise there's going to be flood on it. So every settlement around there must run with that datum and operate at a higher level there. So we've had a lot of error of judgment, and people are now looking into the scientific consideration before constructing those areas.
So who is supposed to be in charge of looking into the scientific consideration before before they start to develop there? What government parastatal is supposed to make sure that it's whatever developments that happen around there is done putting the scientific factors into consideration?
Well, yeah, we have like Ministry of the Environment, Ministry of Urban Development and Physical Planning.
So what has been the challenge? Why haven't we seen their impact in this situation?
Well, like I said, yeah, maybe there have been error of judgment in the time past. You know, when you take decisions, you have to have science-based, well-informed decisions before you advise people. And apart from that too, even before you, the developer itself, you know, you go extra mile to even allow professionals to advise you in those areas. So as a government now, we're trying to correct the error of the past, and which is very possible. Government is a continuum. Yeah. So we have to inherit whatever errors of the past and make sure that we'll correct it in the interest of the people who are settled there. So we have to admit that, yes, maybe in the time past there are omissions from the government side, but the government of the day must correct it for the benefit of the people.
So how responsive are the individuals within those areas in responding to, you know, sometimes I know the government will warn that the flood is about to come, relocate your families, find somewhere else to stay in higher lands and then come back. How do they respond? And is there any form of compensation to the loss of properties, loss of lives, likely?
Well, you know, we have a very cynical population. You know, people are very cynical, maybe because of the trust deficit between the government and the people. So when government says something, people are very cynical about it. And we gave a flood alert in April this year, and we always do every year, warning people that, look, and in particular, we mention the areas that will have this impact. And what we're doing there is that while working towards a solution, that's an adaptation that you need to do to either, to minimize the tendency for lamentation. You know, why lament when you were aware that this was going to happen? So we would rather celebrate lamentation than prevent this thing from happening. Government said, look, relocate from those areas or elevate. If you must stay there, operate at a higher level. Are you getting me? So that this water will come. The tide was in October, went as far as about 3.5 meters. And the low tide was at about 1.5 meters. So that means that low point, 1.5 meters, that would be the level which the water will come. It will come overnight. Usually the tide comes in the night. And this thing will come, it will stay just for a few days and it will go. Go to those areas that the water is already regressing and everybody will go to sleep again. But we are not going to sleep, we are going to work and make sure that we don't encourage this kind of lamentation every year. we have a reputation.
Estates like this, you think, like, how does somebody relocate? How do you move from an estate? You think, okay, how do you even rebuild?
How do you start elevating?
How do you start elevating? You just think to yourself, like, it sounds nice on paper to elevate, but in practical terms, how?
Well, we have houses there that have done that. They're building their structure. Maybe before they even constructed it, their structure, they were at the higher level. They were aware of it.
But the access road is not.
Yes, and that's the government side, and which we are going to do. And the governor already gave a marching order to the commissioner. Come and make roads there at a higher level.
Okay.
All right? That's a government responsibility, because most of these estates are government residential estate. And some of the areas that are not even residential estate, yes, our development there will take cognizance of the kind of elevation which you will do. So there must be access, which is government responsibility, to your property, and you have a responsibility also to elevate your structure, to make sure you make the place habitable.
Okay.
Everywhere is habitable.
Let me take this call from Yakub. Yakub, thanks for calling. You're live.
Right.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Morales.
Good morning.
Good morning to Honorable Commissioner.
Thank you, sir.
Honorable, I think you are very conversant with Abeokuta Expressway, Lagos and Abeokuta Expressway. This kind of station that we are seeing on the television here now, it also happened immediately after Congo Bridge, in Joju precisely. A little water, if this rainfall within, let's say, less than 1 hour, that place is not movable again. Everywhere will be flooded. And then, I think you were the chair of the Mr. Governor. I heard that the governor of Ogun State has promised to take up that very particular road. Please, we are thanking you to Mr. Governor. How long this road is going to be fixed? Because we are passing through here. If it is, as a commissioner, I would like you to even come from Abeokuta down to Lagos. If you pass that road, the following day you are going to fix it. Even though you are using private, whatever you are using, you are going to fix it. Good morning.
All right. Do you want me to
So,
respond?
yeah, go ahead, please. Respond to him.
All right, yes. Thank you very much. I think the area we are talking about, Joju, I visited the area myself. What we have there, that's an urban flooding. It's got nothing to do with the coastal flooding. It's a flash flood issue. And what we have there is a construction defect along the express road. Okay, the discharge point for storm water in that area has been blocked. Okay, where you can empty to. And for that area, you empty that area along the express. There's a secondary collector there that empties itself towards the old toll gate. Whatever you collect around that area must run along the express towards the old toll gate. We'll find out that there's a balance drain, there are a lot of channels underneath that express that have been blocked completely. They've not been maintained for several years. And we're working on maintaining that area. So I'm aware of the area where you're talking about, sir. And part of the construction work we're going to do there, we will take cognizance of the redesigning of the kind of, the drainage channels along those areas.
Yeah,
Thank you very much.
I was going to say with flooding and, environmental degradation actually happens maybe at a faster level. So I'm wondering, so those who have elevated, how long would that elevation last for? Like, is it, it rises nearly every year or every decade, the water rises and maybe the soil degrades over time as well. Is this something you say to them, if you elevate to this point, this should be able to carry you 10 years, this should be able to carry you 20 years, just so that they are aware of what the risks are or whatever the situation is in future?
It's a perpetual elevation.
You keep elevating.
You elevate along the tidal fluctuation height. Over there, especially at the Isheri area, the highest you can go with the tidal lock is at about 1.5 meters. So if you're going to elevate, your building must be elevated at least 2 meters above the baseline. So whether you even have the tidal lock at about 1.5 meters backflow, it will never get to your house. It will stay within the drainage channel that will be created over there. Okay. So it's a perpetual elevation.
Let me take this call from Ola. He's calling from Akute. Thanks for calling, Ola.
Thank you, my sister.
You're live. Go ahead. Good morning.
Thank you. Mr. Commissioner, thank you too for coming.
Thank you, sir.
My observation, madam, is what the commissioner is saying, that the governor has given nothing. Come to Akute, madam. Come to Akute. The flood is washed there. The drainage, the government are not even taking care of that drainage. If the drainage are taking care, the flood will not even affect people at that Akute. There's nothing. Even the road the government has constructed last for tenor, the road is still here. Nothing. The problem the commissioner is saying that the governor gives instruction, is just a paper instruction without even go to the site and see what is going on and what people are facing. Come to Ibafo, come to Akute, come to Alagbole side. The flood is here. Call the express that because the community is saying that people are blue.
Thank you very much, Ola. So, aside from the flooding issue possibly in Akute, just to add to, because I was saying that we always have issues, YK is here almost every day, talking about that Alagbole road.
Right.
Yes.
Instead, they've tried, the governor even came himself, according to her, and she was hoping that something would happen overnight, or, I mean, would start.
Immediately.
Almost immediately. But nothing happened so far. So could you give us an update on what's going on with that Alagbole road?
All right, fine. Well, let me make an attempt to talk for the Commissioner for Works, because I was there the day the governor went there. We saw clearly there that from under the bridge there towards Alagbole Road, you could see that even the old road that was there, it was the drainage that destroyed that road. Most of the drainage channels that were blocked with several debris and everything, and that there was so much saturation on the road. The water and asphalt they are never friends. All right, so we have to do so many things. Immediately, governor gave an instruction, so there was a bit of palliative that was done there. The real construction will start. Now, if the governor comes and gives an instruction right there, yeah, it may happen with Fiat, but then there's a process which the thing must go through. If you don't have it in the budget, okay, and you are spending money for a project without a budget, you'll be accused of misappropriation. All right, so what the governor did at that time was to make sure that we include that Alagbole in the budget. And what I can just tell our friend from Akute, Alagbole, please be on the lookout. I appreciate your cynicism, let me put it that way. People have this trust deficit when it comes to government promises. But in this particular case, I'm sitting here and I'm telling you, I'm putting my name on the line. Be on the lookout. Alagbole project will go on. All right?
I want to know if
Fantastic. We'll take it from
state
here.
government is considering, I know it's huge, dredging the Ogun River, because they used to do that at the River Niger, but I've not heard any government do it recently, or creating, what's it called? The controlling, building pavements along that line of the river so that you control and keep the water within. Is there any such projects in view?
Yeah, what you're referring to is a dike. We call it dike, like a mold by the riverbank. What we want to do for Ogun River, dike is part of the project. With the federal government, we are pushing this towards the federal government, the inland waterways, to at least increase the withholding capacity of that river.
Exactly.
We have to dredge. The river is old. There's a whole lot of fluvial activities in that area. That means a deposit, okay, of alluvial deposit in that area. It's a lot of sediments. So we just have to excavate, trench that area, clean it up, open it up, get a greater depth, so that instead of holding like just put a value to it, 100 cubic meter per hour, you can increase capacity to 500 cubic meter per hour for that river by creating a dike and going towards a particular depth. So these are part of the thing on the pipeline that we do.
So we're hoping it's okay.
Let me take Bosun. Bosun, thanks for calling. You're live.
Yeah.
Good morning, sir.
Once again, my name is Dotman. I'm calling from Ota.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ojuori in Ota is another very terrible area when it says it will be as if the whole of the dam in Ogun State has been channeled to that Ojuori. So in fact, I even pity children coming from school at that period when it rains. Then there's another place at Ijulof when you are going towards Aton. Ijulof, as soon as you go inside, just about 200 meters, that Ijulof going inside, there's this bridge there that is damaged very close to one small abattoir there. In fact, the place will flood such that you will see people holding each other to pass through that place. And that water, I think, that is one that goes to go and link with the one from Tollgate. Ogun State government needs to do a lot of work in this area. Generally speaking, I live in Ogun State, and I'm an idiot of Ogun State, but I'm not happy with the way roads are in Ogun State.
Okay. Thank you very much, Doctor. We definitely know this is not the commissioner for work, so
Thank you very
it's
much.
important that just to give you feedback to your colleagues.
Yes, I know.
So
I
you know the issues that
Well,
Nigerians are facing.
I'm a member of the Executive Council, so these are things we discuss, and I think I have an idea of what our plans are.
Do you know the area he's talking about?
Oh, yes. That water from Ojore leads towards Ilo Ajegunle. I know that area, and that's part of the areas we are going to dredge. We've been able to dredge so many areas around that area, okay? But we are yet to finish. You can't finish all the job in 1 year. Ogun State is so large, it's so big.
That was going to be my question, where I was going to ask. I was going to ask. We know it may take more than a year, but are we saying 2-3 years? And what are the things we'll see immediately, at least as a palliative, leading to the final completion of the job?
You know what we're doing is that first of all, let me first of all start with the road. There are economic roads. There are roads that lead to interconnectivity. You have to give priority to that road. Roads that lead to school, hospitals.
Markets.
Yes. But many people, until you construct the road in front of my house, you have not done anything. Everybody will tell you that until my road is done, you have not done anything. Even you have done so much. So all we can just do to tell people is, please be patient. What we've done the last 4 years was to do roads that connect cities, that connect areas of importance, roads that have of high impact roads. Okay, but a lot of people are still grumbling, my road. Everybody will complain about their roads. We know, we'll listen. The next phase of roads right now are the intra-city roads.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's the next phase. Thank God the administration has a second time to do that. So people should just be on the lookout. You get that relief, be patient.
Okay.
For the drainage channel, for that area, Ilawe area, that river goes towards Ajegunle, which you have the main catchment, that's the storm catchment that leads to the Lagos Lagoon.
Yeah.
So we're aware of that area.
Okay, sir. So are there, I wanted to find out if there are farmlands that some of this water can be channeled to. Is there any farmlands around those areas that you can identify and say, we'll find a way to channel the water from the dam into the farmland?
No.
None
You don't channel water to farmland. Okay. That's solving one problem to create another one.
Okay.
By the time you channel storm water into farmland, you cannot farm there again. You have overflowing there. So food...
No. There's a way...
From the dam. You know, the dam holds back water.
That's right.
And instead of
upstream.
releasing it every year to just, to empty the dam, can we have that water operational, continuously going as there's something is called irrigation to farms?
Yes. If you go to Onyo Dam, I was there. Okay, I've been there 2-3 occasions. What you have there going on upstream of any dam is irrigation. You detain water at a dam to allow irrigation, to allow even livestock production, maybe fishing, and the rest of it, even for dam production, and even for water supply.
Right.
Yeah.
Those are the things you use dam for, and I think Onyo Dam is doing practically most of it, except the electricity that is not doing.
Okay. Let me take this call from Alagbole again. Daniel, thanks for calling. You're live.
Yeah, thank you, Murayo. Good morning.
Morning.
Yeah, I appreciate the commissioner that you are hosting on your show and the way he has spoken. I appreciate him, the commissioner, that has spoken. I just want to say that the Governor Abeokuta, should do something about Olambe Road, Olambe, Okearo, Agbado. The other day I went to that area. I couldn't take my car to my destination. I had to take about 2 Okadas. You know, the road is in a serious bad state, and something should be done urgently. You know, Governor Abeokuta is a gentleman, and I know a number of people love him, but he needs to do more in Ogun State. So many roads are dilapidated in Ogun State, and something has to be done. People are not happy. Even Ajuwon Road, Alagbole, to Ajuwon to Akute, then go to Ola, then go to Agbado. Go and see the state of roads there. People are weeping, both old and young, and that's not good.
Thank you very much. I mean, I'm happy you're getting this feedback from Nigerians calling in so far. I would even want to know what's the future plan when it comes to environment for Ogun State. What is there a master plan concerning what you plan to do to make all these changes sustainable?
Yes, I think that was talking about our roadmap and our vision, really, is to make Ogun State the state that has the highest level of livability. When it comes to livability, you're talking about sustainability, both in environment, economics, and the social governance. All right. So, when it comes to environment itself, the ecosystem, Ogun State is highly industrialized. It's the most industrialized state in Nigeria.
Really?
Is the most,
Yes.
the number of industries. That is where you have the highest number of industries in Nigeria. That tells you about emission control, pollution management. So our institution to manage pollution, we're strengthening that institution so that as much as we make the state friendly, investment friendly, we avoid pollution so that people can live in Ogun State and still enjoy themselves. Talking about waste management, top-notch. It must be top-notch. So cleanliness.
What does that mean?
That means our aspiration is to be the cleanest state in Nigeria. And very soon we are getting there. The structure to take us there is on ground. Talking about circular economy.
Sorry, let's break down that structure.
Yeah, it's a bit
What's it like? Is it recycling? Is it collection?
That is where I'm going, all right? That's where I'm going. Recycling is a component of what we call the circular economy.
Yes.
Because I talk about our environmental sustainability. It ties with the economic. So if the economics is not right, nobody will want to do the environment issue does not mean anything. So the sustainability there, the economics of it, which is the recycling. We have the largest recycling industry in Nigeria for now.
Yes.
The largest, all the industries that's recycled in Nigeria, they are right there. We recycle over 1,300 tons of plastic daily, over 1,000 tons of paper daily, and over 1,200 tons of ferrous and non-ferrous metals daily in Ogun State. I use the word daily. All the industry, this material comes from all over Nigeria, but they get there because Ogun State, yes, this industry have space to operate. Okay. Now, from within Ogun State itself, we're making sure that our recycling program will be top-notch so that people can get value for going to recycling. And these industries, all their products, most of their products, okay, that they don't want again, they are able to reintegrate it for people that will recycle it. So we have a lot of vendors who are doing it. So it's the main focus, the main drive to create economy out of environmental governance.
Okay, fantastic. I think that's all we can take on today's show. Thank you so much. You've heard from the Commissioner himself. Definitely environmental issues will be top-notch. At least that much we're taking away from this conversation. Thank you so much. Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now.